Hey everybody, I'm Sam Haymart and you're watching Test Driven TV. Today we are test driving the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox, and this is an all-new trim grade for this year, the Active. It's an off-roady, chewier, more aggressive looking, outdoorsy version. And so for 2025, this vehicle's been completely redesigned inside and out. It's about the same size as before, and the one we have here is a pretty well-loaded example, pricing out at about $40,000, give or take some change. Color on this one, Cacti Green. It has the white top, which is an option. I think it looks really nice in this color combination. And if you've seen any ads for this online or in the magazines, this is the color they've chosen because it is quite eye-catching. And so what do you get with the new Chevrolet Equinox? Well, the redesign gave it a more aggressive, I would even say muscular, square, chiseled design. I think it's very handsome. It's got some pronounced wheel arches and it's got some good plastic cladding around the bottom, especially for the active trim grade where you might be getting out in the brush. It's a nice thing to have. Special to this trim grade, 17-inch wheels with machine face and some nice off-road tires. Look at that General Grabber AT tires. Those are expensive tires if you're going out and shopping for those. So that's actually a nice little bonus. Another part of this trim grade here too, also black badges all around. Unique front fascia that's a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more rugged in its design. Coming around to the rear three-quarter view, a couple little details I wanted to point out. Look at that rear pillar back there. It's actually what they call a shark's fin, and it's really pronounced in the way that the design detail comes together with this two-tone roof treatment. I think it really showcases that rather well. This does have a power rear liftgate, which is openable in a number of different ways. And when you look down on the lower fascia, just some really attractive detailing down there. The interior of the Equinox, just like the exterior, is all new from the floor up. A completely redesigned dash, completely redesigned seats, door panels, the whole nine. And if you look at the design, it might look pretty familiar if you've seen some other new Chevrolets of late. We just test drove the Blazer EV and a Traverse last year. Very similar design inside. And what's modern and new is the instrument cluster, which is an 11-inch screen, fully digital, fully customizable. To its right on this one is an 11.3-inch infotainment screen, which, along with the General Motors features that we have today, has a lot of back-end going on. It's got a Google back-end that allows you to do Google commands. You can connect it to Alexa. It has Android Auto wireless capability, as well as, still in this General Motors vehicle, the Apple CarPlay wireless connectivity, which is what I use. So I'm very happy about that. Very comfortable. These seats are a sort of vinyl cloth type material. They have a name for it, which I can't remember, but look at them. Aren't they beautiful? And this is part of the active trim grade, this maple and black interior color scheme. And then it's got orange piping on the seats with some white and orange stitching. Very handsome, I think. And they're comfortable too. They have a nice grippy feel. And in the heat, I found them to be pretty good on the skin. I'm not getting that sweaty kind of rubbery vinyl feeling at all. They're heated, they're ventilated, they're power operated, very comfy. As I sit here, this has been a very comfortable vehicle to drive this week. Leather covered steering wheel, the gear selector is up here on the stalk, and that affords a nice open console design. Cup holders, drive mode selector, wireless charger for your phone right here in the center console. It just sits right there and you can easily grab it if you need to. And then there's still a nice cubby up ahead for more storage. Storage in the center, very deep, very big. And as we move to the back seat, you can see there's plenty of leg room and a nice seating height back there. That seat does fold down in a 60-40 split. And looking at the rear cargo area, that's a pretty nice spacious area. And as you can see in the shot where we have one of the seats folded down, it's an almost flat load floor back there too. But a nice surprise, when you lift up the floor, you find that there's a nice big hidden storage area underneath the floor back there. And to my surprise, they didn't get rid of the spare to make that happen. If you go one step further down below, this does have a mini spare, which I've always been an advocate of with an SUV, because if you're really going to use it like an SUV and go out in the world, you might be someplace without cell service to call a tow truck, and you might need a tire to get yourself out of wherever you might be. So this is very well featured, very well designed. It's functional, it's versatile, and did I say comfortable? And easy on the eyes too. Before we get out on the test drive, under the hood here is a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, Ecotec General Motors calls it. It has 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. This is optioned with all-wheel drive, which means it's also equipped with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's worth pointing out that if you go with the front-wheel drive model, same horsepower, but the torque level is slightly less, and it comes with a continuously variable transmission instead of the 8-speed automatic. All in, with the all-wheel drive, it has a total tow rating of up to 1,500 pounds. Driving around in the Equinox, I found that this 1.5-liter turbocharged engine is quiet and refined, and this transmission, being an 8-speed automatic in the traditional sense, does have a more traditional driving experience. And so you do feel it shifting, you do feel it giving those revs up and down, stopping and going at intersections, and it's just got a nice refined feel to it. Now, this does have an auto start-stop system, so when you come to a stop, if the air conditioner is not needed, it will shut the engine off to save gas. I have found sometimes that the starting and the stopping of the engine is a little bit abrupt, but for the most part it works very well. This engine is rated at 24 miles per gallon city, 29 highway, and 26 miles per gallon combined. And so that's about class average with most of the traditional gas-powered SUVs in its class. A hybrid is not available here, as in some of its competitors. So if you want higher mileage than the mid-20s, you're going to have to look elsewhere. Overall, though, I have found this powertrain to be very satisfying and easy to live with every day. Now for a conversation about the ride and handling. This does have a fully independent suspension. It has four-wheel disc brakes, so on the spec sheet, it's got all the things we typically ask for. With the all-wheel drive, it is usually operating in front-wheel drive until all-wheel drive is needed. You can set that in the settings to operate the way you want it to in that way, so you have some control over that. I have found that the ride is pretty soft, and it would almost in some ways be described as boaty, especially over undulations, dips, and things like that. You do tend to start feeling a boat effect. One of the upshots of it being a little bit more softly sprung is that if you do actually use this out in an off-road setting on a dirt road, a gravel road, it's going to be a little bit more compliant and comfortable, especially with these nice off-road tires, and so that makes a nice combination. It's pretty quiet when it comes to road noise as well, even with this big panoramic roof above my head. I don't get a lot of wind noise here. It's just quiet and comfortable as expected with most of the American brands. All right, my friends, there you go for our brief test drive, our walk around, and our tour inside of the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. My opinion? I like it. I think it's a handsome vehicle, especially with this new redesign. It's definitely eye-catching. It's got curb appeal. The interior, also very eye-catching. I really like the design. It's comfortable, and it's very livable every day. A lot of features for the money at $40,000. You can compare this to a lot of vehicles in its class, and it's going to be hard to find something else at this price that's got more features than this. There are some, but this is just a nice packaging, as it were. Now, one thing that needs to be pointed out, this vehicle is manufactured, assembled in Mexico. And what that means is that if the tariffs that have been in the news come to pass, 25% on this makes a $40,000 vehicle a $50,000 vehicle. So just bear that in mind if you're watching this video a little bit later and the price isn't what we talked about here on the video today. You just never know in this world we're living in what's going on. But there's a lot of vehicles in this category that will also be hit by those tariffs should they come to pass. But as it relates just to the vehicle we're talking about here, I definitely give it a thumbs up. So there you go. If you like what we do, see our latest video right there. Better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can do that right down there.